guess yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to those two geeks. It is cold.
Very cold
It,
Saturday morning.
it is a Saturday morning. Yeah. One of us is awake. One of us is barely awake. You can figure out who that is probably by the. I think actually both of us are barely awake. Honestly,
We're
um,
barely awake.
judging by the complete lack of enthusiasm as we came into this show. Right. We didn't have a plan because we initially were gonna we invite someone on, but it
Correct.
circumstances where we just ended up with a rain check. So they will be back on at some, or I say back on, they will be on some point in the
Mhm.
near future. Looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I don't know. Like we were saying,
Yeah,
like what do you want to talk about? Like we haven't talked toys in a while, was it? And then Joe mentioned that the.
yeah. The rumor is that the
Yeah,
next HasLab is going to be a. I keep saying Lego, but next HasLab is going to be a vintage collection Death Star.
Could you imagine the size of a
Yeah,
crowd-funded Lego thing?
a crowd-funded Lego thing would be
Because
huge, but
people already pay like $700-800 for like a Lego Death Star, the Lego Disney Castle, right? They already pay an obscene amount for that stuff. You
yeah.
could be crowdfund like $1,000 plus Lego thing and have it be, I don't know how many pieces are in the Death Star. I need to find out now as we're talking. But you
Oh,
could
there's
have it
got to be like
be,
7,000
I was gonna
something
say
or 10,000. Maybe
there's
not
got.
10,000, but
Oh,
it's
see, I was
definitely over
thinking 10,000.
7,000.
Yeah, 4,000. 4,016 pieces apparently, and it is
Wow.
2,900 Canadian dollars on Amazon. So
2,900?
yeah. Now again,
Holy
that's one of those things where it's probably on a reseller,
Oh, it is. It's gone up in
right?
value,
So
but
it's
I never
it's
knew it went up in
insane.
value like that.
Yeah. What was the retail
Wow.
price on that originally?
600,
Jesus. So I mean, you
or it
could
was like
crowdfund for
649.
yeah, yeah. Walmart has it at 660, which makes sense. But you could crowdfund that shit to $1,000 and make it twice the size of the Lego Death Star. You could probably build it so that it has an actual functional laser.
Yeah.
Maybe not a
What the
planet destroying laser, but
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is if you vintage collection likes to try to keep things in scale,
agreed.
like with each other. Not necessarily the movie scale, because I mean, obviously it's so ginormous. It'd probably be the size of my living room
Oh,
if you wanted, something
like
like that.
God knows how many floors are technically in the actual Death Star,
Yeah, exactly.
but they can
So
have. Don't they fit the Star Destroyers inside?
yeah, exactly, exactly. They fit the Star Destroyers inside. So I've got the Lego Ray. I mean, God damn it, I got the vintage collection Razor Crest, and it's 3.5 feet, very close to
Yeah.
4 feet. Now that is a very small potatoes thing to the Death Star. So it's like, I mean, I don't know what scale they could do if they were going to do vintage collection. I'd say it have to be about 1.5 times the size of the Lego one.
Mm.
Hmm.
It would have to be a reduced scale,
Oh, it'd
pure,
definitely be reduced scale.
purely like even like 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 you said, like the Razor Crest is what, foot and a half, 3 feet. You just told
Yeah,
me, I forgot. Could you imagine
three
what
and
a
a half
Star
feet.
Destroyer would be if
That's
the
what I'm
Razor
saying.
Crest is 3.5 feet and the Star Destroyer is significantly larger? That alone would be as long as your living room, and then you have the
Yeah,
Death Star on top of that. Like, there's no functional way.
yeah. The Star Destroyer would probably be about 5 feet if they were to do it for vintage collection. If
I
they
think
could, it
so.
would be about five
Yeah, like
feet, and it
you
would
could
be
never make it too
massive.
big, but
It would just be massive.
yeah.
And that makes sense. I understand why they go for vintage collection because, I mean, let's face it, to try to make anything for Black Series, outside G.I. Joe, no one makes vehicles that big. Like, no one has the fortitude to make vehicles or attempt it. Like,
Hmm.
the
Agreed.
the Hiss tank is basically perfect scale. It is what it would scale like in the show
Yeah.
to the to the Cobra mercenaries. it's not like it's scaled down. I mean, no, it fits them in. It has every function. It has all that. The Dragonfly, same thing. All that stuff. It's perfectly scaled to the figures, which is just a marvel the way G.I. Joe does it. But
Oh, it's fantastic the way they can get it to
no
work.
one else, I don't think Marvel can pull it off. I mean, we saw with the Engine of Vengeance, and you know, I just don't think anyone else can pull it off to the same level of effect.
Agreed. I think that's fair.
So, so I mean, I've definitely backed off of Star Wars. There's only a few things I will pick up. Like, I have an Ahsoka, I have a SH Figure Arts Luke, I have an SH Figure Arts R2D2. I
Hmm.
have a really nice Darth Vader. You know, when SH Figure Arts comes out with their Ahsoka from the Ahsoka show, I will pick that up because the face printing tech on it is
Is going to be much
really
better. Yeah.
phenomenal. Yeah, so I'll pick that up. But like, I've really cut down Mando. I kept my Mando from the Black series because, believe it or not, the Mando from the Black series with an aftermarket cape is just about perfect.
Hmm.
He's got like the best scale. I think he's got the best proportions. Everyone else comes off too lanky.
Yeah, agreed.
So
I've got
like,
I mean, my Star Wars collection is almost entirely, aside from an Ahsoka and an Obi-Wan Kenobi from like the Obi-Wan series, almost everything else is
New Hope.
yeah, like new but the era between new Return of the Jedi and Mandalorian. So
Okay.
that's
Yep.
the kind of the stormtrooper I enjoy. I've got a whole bunch of Mandalorians.
Yeah, and I remember like years ago we talked about this.
Yeah.
You said that you had to put like a limit because the way you collect, you were like, I have to just do the Jedi Return of the Jedi through Mandalorian as the only thing
Yeah,
you
because
allow yourself to collect.
anything else, I'm like, well, I've seen what I've done with when I got into Legends and got really into Legends and
Yeah,
Masterverse, and now I feel like for whatever reason I've basically just stopped getting Masterverse stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's cool and I really like it, but I don't need any more of it at this point.
it's
Like
the
unless
same
it's
with me.
yeah,
Yeah,
unless it's something that comes out that I really want to get, like the new adventure stuff.
yeah,
But I think for me the issue was I've got Trapjaw and Merman from the Revelation cartoon.
yeah.
Well, then they bring out, or they're bringing out Trapjaw and Merman in the new Eternia wave.
Right.
You
The
know,
new Eternia wave is probably the best stuff, I'd say.
oh, 100% it is. But at this point, I'm like, I've already got the other two. I don't need another Trapjaw. I
Yeah,
don't need another, right? So I'm like, I got the inferior version, but they're not inferior by much. It's like I want the new Trapjaw head sculpt, and
yeah,
that's about it. So do I really need to pick up another version of Trapjaw when the one I have is great? Likewise with Merman, like I'm happy with what I have.
yeah. Agreed.
Like if I could find it cheap, yeah, sure, maybe I will. But ultimately, I'm happy I got the blue faker instead of the Revelation one. I'm
Yeah,
fine. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it.
Faker's always good.
Yeah.
But yeah. Speaking of Mattel, that's a good little segue.
It
So
was a
Mattel,
complete accident, but
yeah, Mattel's been doing their Mattel Creations like reveals all week, and really the only one that I care about is they released CM Punk. But
yeah,
go figure, he was supposed to go up for sale yesterday,
he didn't, did
and
he?
no, all of a sudden, like right before, they pushed it to April 7th, and I'm like, what the hell? Now my only guess is this is smarter to just coincide with WrestleMania, since WrestleMania is like April 6th and 7th, I think,
Mm-hmm.
or the 8th or something like that. It's basically same time frame. And then also, like, I don't know, it's just, it's going to be a 3 week window. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. So,
Okay.
I mean, sorry, I just started looking up the Mattel creation stuff and then I got distracted. So,
Yeah. So
yes,
there's that.
3 week
And then
window.
there's a few Masters of the Universe stuff that I'm interested in. So for Masters, they came out with Adam and Cringer from the cartoon Filmation Classics Origins. So I'm all over those. Those I need. I
Yeah.
still need to get Skeletor. Like I thought I was gonna have those all day one. I have He-Man, but I've just been like sporadic in my
I can grab your
collecting.
Skeletor if you don't have him.
Yes, grab me Skeletor,
Yeah.
please. I would love him.
Um,
But also like so there's that.
this is
They,
a drastic topic change, but not really because it's still kind of on topic. Did you see the Street Sharks figures from Mattel?
yes, I ordered Ripster
Nice.
because
I'm
I loved Ripster as a kid
mhm.
so much.
Like I'm looking at it thinking like I kind of want the shirts or the hoodie and stuff with the Ripster hoodie.
I didn't even
Uh
see the hoodie. Son of
oh
a
it
bitch.
yeah it's great. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's white and it looks very 90s. Like the logo,
Oh man, that's
it's
awesome.
yeah, it's so good. Um
Yeah, and I like the
yeah.
way that so the Street Sharks are taking a page out of Origins,
Mm,
where it looks very, very similar to the Playmates sculpts,
yep.
but it's got like Origins updated articulation in just certain places, and it adds just enough to it that it's like, yeah. And they said that they're also keeping the same material they made the Street Sharks from, which was like this weird rubbery, flexy, like strange material to give
Right.
you like that shark feel.
Yeah,
So
because if
like
it looks like his jaw opens too,
his
maybe.
jaw opens, he has articulated arms, legs, and
Yeah.
waist. He looks great.
Yeah.
Um, I
Agreed.
never liked Jag, so I'm like, so I skipped him. But when the dude on the roller skates comes out, I'll grab him because I want him too.
Yeah.
But I don't. This isn't one I need all of them. Like I just need a representation of Street Sharks. So Ripster is my obvious
Hmm.
representation.
Yeah, like this is one of those ones I'm like, man, this is amazing. I don't need
It
it.
is. It
I
is.
definitely don't need to get out all of them.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I think they're brilliant. Like they look fantastic.
Yeah, and they're priced right. They're like
Yeah.
$24.99. So like they don't break the bank. You can get at least one. Um, that goes for the same thing from like Biker Mice from Mars.
Hmm.
I had those all on order and then I canceled them with the bikes because I was like, I don't have like 250 to spend on all this
Yeah.
on plus bikes. And now I'm watching the reviews of them with bikes and I'm like, God damn it. I'm like,
I
well, maybe,
needed the bikes.
yeah, I'm like, maybe I'll just get Moto and his bike because he's the cybernetic one.
Yeah.
He's always been the coolest anyway. And I'm like, I don't
Who makes the
know.
Biker Mice from Mars figures now?
The Cell,
I've
they're the
never.
company that does bendies. It's strange. They do like Batman bendies. They do like Spider-Man bendies. Like, and like when I say bendies, I'm not talking about like the old school like Hasbro WWF bendies
Oh,
where
okay.
I'm talking these bendies are like almost action figure esque with no joints. Like if you keep them straight up, they look great.
Yeah.
Like look up what's it called? Look up like the Nightwing and the Joker. They look fantastic. If you just stand them up, they look great. And they went deep with the Batman stuff. They did like the Signal, I think. They did like some characters that are just
That
like
you wouldn't expect.
yeah, outside Todd McFarlane, you wouldn't expect it. But for me, it was all about the CM Punk figure, and now he's going up on the 7th. But he's going up for a 3-week period, and he's made to order with no restriction. So I'm like, oh man, this might run into a situation where every week I order a CM Punk figure for 3 weeks just to have,
Just to see what happens.
yeah, because I love CM Punk so much, and everyone's been kind of like ho hum on this figure as far as the attire. Like I think you and Matthew and I were talking about it a little. I
Yeah,
think it's the perfect exclusive. It's 100% the perfect exclusive because it's a time capsule and it's for
yeah.
those
I think
die-hard fans.
as an exclusive, it's good.
It's perfect.
As a mass release figure, it is it leaves like it isn't one that I would want as a representation of CM Punk on my shelf. I would wait if I was going to do it, I would wait for him in his ring attire.
Yeah, which will be the ultimate. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, that said, it is a fantastic base body for any number of customs of superheroes in jeans and a t-shirt,
Yep.
right?
I mean,
So,
well, minus the tattoos.
I mean, that you can paint over if you're, or
Yeah.
it's probably like printed onto the plastic. If you use nail polish remover, you should be able to get that off.
Yeah. So we were talking about this a little bit, like his tattoos. So the Pepsi
Yes.
tattoo, they had to change it slightly, obviously,
Yeah, of course.
and the Cobra one they left out completely. I'm to me it's a little funny how they left out the Cobra one completely because
They should have.
Jazzwares was
They could
able
have.
to
They
have
could have
it.
put like a general snake there or something.
Well, Jazzwares was able to have the Cobra, not exact, but very close to the Cobra logo, very close, same color and everything. I don't understand why Jazzwares could do it, but Mattel couldn't. And
It
this has
might.
always been the case with Mattel, always.
They might just have said, you know what, we're not going to do it because we don't need to run the risk of getting sued.
Or they don't want to pay any type of fee for any
Anything.
type of
Yeah.
license.
Yeah.
But they also have the Snake Eyes Arash and Storm Shadow Arashikage symbol on Punk's forearm. I didn't even know he had that tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, looking at the new tattoos, he's got a lot more new tattoos. Like, he has, like, the no gimmicks needed across his knuckles. He has, like, the
Does he have that
Arashikage
across his
symbol.
knuckles? I always thought he had drug free. Oh, must be.
Yeah, he is drug free, but on top of, like, on
Oh, on the
top
top.
of his knuckles.
Oh, the top of
Yeah,
his hand. Yeah.
yeah, on top of his hand. Yeah, so he's got a lot more, things since I've, he has
Paid attention.
yeah, and it's pretty cool. I think the renders are phenomenal. I hope the figure comes out as good, but the renders are nice and bright and vibrant. I think that will make all the difference with the tattoos. But
Agreed.
so the Arashikage symbol is red. It's red and black blocks, like red with black spaces in between the blocks. But if you look at it, it's all brown with a little bit of black spacing. Like they just painted it brown, so they couldn't even go red. But it also
Right.
like it looks like a band-aid or a block when the way they did it. And funny sidebar or a tangent. What's it called? I've been wanting to get a tattoo for years and years and years and years. So I've always wanted something simplified or something like, something that's just not painfully obvious, but
What it
also just
is.
like, oh, that's cool. So I've settled on, if I do it this year, I'm gonna get the Arashikage symbol on my forearm
Yeah.
in the inside because I am a diehard GI Joe fan through and through, and Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow are my two favorites of all time. So it's like it's perfect for me. And I hate needles so much. I forget you have tattoos, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, so I hate needles with a passion. But it's like it's something I
It,
think I can try
so
to do.
here's the thing: needles, like getting a shot or having blood drawn or whatever, and versus a tattoo, are
Mm-hmm.
so different. Like you, unless someone specifically said, "Hey, the tattoo machine has needles in it," you probably
Mm-hmm.
would never know.
Is
It
it just
just,
like pressure?
it's like I've always thought of it as like you have a better sunburn, and it's like someone slaps it.
Okay.
It's, it isn't a super pleasant feeling, but it's
Mm-hmm.
so drastically different than getting blood drawn because it's like going along, right? It's like a scratch, it's almost like
Mm-hmm.
a scratch in sunburn or going down your skin, but
Okay.
it's far from unpleasant. Like
Okay.
it is what it is. It's trying to describe it is the weirdest feeling because it definitely hurts at times, but
Mm-hmm.
usually only when it gets to certain points. Like for the most part, you can just sit there and just accept that this is happening, and the noise is going to bother you more than the feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just like, I just want to get it. And like, I think about it and I'm like, well, how hard is it to do blocks in an arranged order? But also at the same time, I'm like,
Surprisingly, a lot
surprisingly
harder than you would
hard.
think because they've got to
Yep.
get their lines dead straight.
You got to get them dead straight. I know. And that's the thing. And it's like, oh, man.
I mean,
So it's
it's
like,
easily doable because so many artists can do it, but
yep.
I would say a straight line tattoo is probably a lot harder to do than something where you can hide imperfections.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the tattoo that I want. So, I
Yeah.
mean, we'll see what happens. I'll keep everyone updated on the journey. But yeah, so then what else is there from Mattel? Masterverse, they have their Snout Spout, who looks amazing. He's still up for sale, but Snout Spout looks incredible. However, excuse me, that they revealed for the new Eternia
Mm-hmm.
is the Horde Trooper. Now, look this thing up if you get a chance. It is so phenomenal. It even has a head under the Horde Trooper mask for the first
No
time ever.
way.
Dude,
Is it
look
the
it up.
Horde Trooper New Eternia?
Yeah. Look it up. I at first thought it was a Mondo figure. It was so good.
Oh shit! Yeah, I see what you mean.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
And then the Horde act that they're releasing with for Revolution,
Mm-hmm.
fantastic too.
Like that is massive.
Yeah. And then the Horde act for Revolution is just awesome. I'm like, because I was a big fan of his design in the show. Also his
Yeah.
voice. I love Keith David. Keith David can do like no wrong. Can you hear Roscoe?
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
I'm just looking at this figure. It's like they've got what two? Like it's obviously an army builder, right? Like that's what's so insane about it.
Yeah, so I'll get 2 of them to flank
Mm.
Hordak if I get them. But yeah, no, I'm gonna get them most likely. And then they also have their 3rd or 4th wave of Masters of the Universe TMNT crossover, which I didn't think they were going to go so deep into. Oh my God, they went really deep. And they did Too Bad with Bebop and Rocksteady, which was a genius idea. I'm not so happy with the execution of it. I think it looks for a so-so figure. The idea of Too Bad as Bebop and Rocksteady is very, very intriguing. But the figure itself is just like, they could have done much better, I feel. But they have Casey Jones, they have April, they have April as the sorceress, and then they have Tila with a mix of something else. But they have Skeletor and Shredder mixed together instead of Shredder and Skeletor. And Skeletor and Shredder looks great. The one funny one, though, is if you get a chance to look at, is Mikey as He-Man. Because you have Donatello, you have Leo, you have Raph, and they all have like raided the Eternia armory. So they all are like armored up. Mikey is armored up, but he has a blonde wig on top of it.
Hilarious.
And it is hysterical. It's like off-centered wig, and it looks great. I'm like, oh man. So like I'm all in on that. I didn't want to get any of like, I saw like mouse jaw instead of mousetrap or whatever it was. I saw them and I've seen some of the other ones and I just I don't care about them, but it's the 4 brothers, like the 4 turtles with the armor. Yeah, sign me up all day long. Like I'm super excited for that stuff. But what else was I gonna say? So like that's the Mattel stuff. They did the Street Sharks, they did the WWE, and then they did Masterverse. For WWE, they did some weird choices, dude. Weird choices that I'm not sure are gonna sell, but they're Mattel creations, so that's probably why some of them
they think they can get it.
Yeah, like they did their Coliseum collection, they did their next 2 figures, and the Coliseum collection's always great. So they did DiBiase and they did Ricky Steamboat, and it's like, oh man, they look phenomenal. And they're in the old LJN packaging, which makes it even like better.
Yep.
So the DiBiase, my buddy wants, and I want the Steamboat. So I was like, dude, why don't we just split the pack? Because I don't want both. And
if you want,
paying,
like, if you can get away with splitting the pack, it makes sense to do just.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it comes in it comes in its own box, and then it's inside a bigger box, and they're split apart.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not like on the same blister card or anything like that. So other than having the original box, like you don't really care as long as you keep it on its own blister card, or you take it out of its own blister card. Roscoe, are you gonna come fight the dog? You better not. He's pissed off. So, those look phenomenal. But then they did this weird reveal of a new line, which I never thought I'd see. They did like territorial wrestlers from like the 60s and 50s.
Oh, weird.
So so they got like Bruno Sammartino versus Gorilla Monsoon. And I'm sitting there going, that one will sell, but then they've got like other two like very obscure ones, and I'm like, they did like 3 or 4 packs, and I'm just sitting there going, I see all the WWE stuff in clearance all the time on Target, no matter
Yep.
what. Once it goes on sale, within like 3 or 4 weeks, it's on clearance. And that's like Roman Reigns and like Hulk Hogan and like all the mainstays. I cannot foresee somebody walking through the aisles unless it's a Mattel Creations wanting a Gorilla Monsoon versus, you know, a Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah,
Like I
exactly.
can't see
It's
it.
nothing against them,
No,
but there's definitely moments where like, yeah, this isn't gonna go well.
no. And then this is where Mattel can't win, right?
Yep.
Because every single wave of WWE is like 6 new figures, but they're always like the same figure in different attires. So like every other wave out of 109 elite waves so far, like for the past like 50 wave, every other wave has had Roman Reigns
Mm-hmm.
in like a t-shirt variation or something, or it has had an AJ Styles, or has had a Cody Rhodes, or
It,
like it's the
it's
same like 8 characters redone over and over and over
it,
ad
if
nauseum.
you had to pick, and this is not a huge topic change, but I think you could do the same thing for like Marvel Legends. If you had to pick a wave of the
It's true.
6 most popular characters,
Iron Man, Spider-Man, Wolverine.
Wolverine, Captain America,
Yep.
right? Like off the top of our heads, we've got 4 of them almost immediately. I would throw Cyclops in there because
Yeah,
despite
Cyclops
people
is
not
nice.
liking him, it's hard to find one of his figures.
Yeah.
Rogue,
Yeah, Rogue, man. I
Rogue is
forgot to get her for
insane.
97, and I can't find her anywhere. And I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah,
Because I
I
do want to
never
get her.
saw Rogue. Never saw Rogue
I
at
saw her
all.
4 times in the store, and I passed up on her every time because I was like, I don't need her.
I
And
don't
then I
need
was
her.
like, ah, crap, I need her. You know,
Now
but
I
I
check
ordered
you up.
Madeline Pryor the other day, so I'm happy to have that for the first time ever.
Nice.
Now, um, I guess that could be a segue. We said we weren't going to, but you know what?
Yeah,
We're going to.
and
So
so the thing is that it's only 2 episodes.
yeah, this is like a wet your whistle type of thing,
Yeah,
and like
it
we're gonna
we
talk more the idea of it than the
yeah.
spoilers, but we'll get into a little bit of
Yeah,
spoilers.
honestly, I think that even just like it's only 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I think that talking about the idea of it at the moment is better than anything else because we both want to dive into it fully when it's out.
Well, yeah, but I just want to ask
Oh
you
yeah,
a
no,
question on
I
Madeline
say
Pryor
I
because I'm
say this,
confused, to be honest.
and then damn well within about 5 minutes we're going to be talking about what happened in the episodes themselves.
Yeah. So, put on spoiler music or whatever. But like
Uh,
X-Men 97, um, it didn't disappoint in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what I was expecting, but at the same time, I got everything I wanted.
I
Like I was so it had kept the spirit of the cartoon.
yes.
It didn't feel seamless. It felt close to seamless, but it
What?
was
So I don't remember what happened at the end of because this
same.
is why we're
Yeah,
doing the rewatch. I don't remember what happened at the end of the season. Like, did Xavier die or did this happen like off camera and we're
I
just
don't
starting it from
know
here?
because I have to rewatch that final episode and I fell asleep during it. Like, um, the last memory I remember as a kid was something happened to him at a court or like a peace summit or something with Gyrick,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't remember him being shot at all. At all. There was no gun in the 1992 show that I remember at all.
Okay.
And I remember Xavier, the last scene, if I remember correctly, was the X-Men gathered around his bedside and his wounds or something were so like deep that only Lalandra could handle it. And so she took him off planet. So he essentially died. But he didn't die. His body, like, he was still conscious and everything. He left the planet. He was gone.
So for all intents and purposes, he's
To the
gone.
outside world, he's dead. But like
Yeah.
the X-Men, which kind of struck me as odd on these 2 episodes, they mourned him like
But
he was
I
dead,
wonder
like his
if
body was dead.
they're going to explain it as in like there's no like they said he's probably not going to make it back, but I'll try. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
But he
Anyway,
put Lalana tundra that I recall, and the
Which
final scene of the series was Magneto by the X-Men side,
yeah,
watching the ship take off, and that
I
was it.
thoroughly enjoy. So keeping to
I
the
loved it.
spirit for the minute, like the
Yeah,
animation, especially after we're watching
incredible.
season 2, like it
Oh
looks
my
the same. Like it looks like
god,
it's still set in the same time,
it does. Yeah,
right? Like it doesn't seem further ahead or anything like that. There's nothing really changed. It's a direct, clear sequel.
it is a direct clear sequel. Absolutely. Yep.
I enjoy the fact you have like slight updates to Rogue's hair. Storm's hair is different, obviously.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
I,
and Storm's hair was a precursor. I should have
mhm.
known. I
It's funny.
wasn't
I was
ready
watching it
for it,
thinking
but it
like,
still caught me off guard.
yeah, I feel like this should happen at a different time. Like watching it back now, I kind of wish that you'd have seen her,
Yeah,
what
more.
happened to her, and then you see the appearance change. But either
Yeah.
way, it's fine. Um, I have no complaints about those episodes at
No,
all.
my God, they were the perfect two-part. Well, wasn't even a two-part. They were just perfect two opener.
Well, that's
The
just it.
first
It
episode
wasn't a
reminded
two
me.
part, but it
Yeah,
felt like it.
it did. But the first episode brought me right back to the series opener.
Yeah.
It felt like another Night of Sentinels
Yep.
updated. It really did. But man, they had so much cool shit in it. Like, first of all, the animation is fluid as it's perfect. Like everyone who says the what if animation was perfect, no, this is the perfect
The what if
animation.
animation was great, but this is
It is.
perfect for what it is meant to be, which is
This is perfect.
an homage to a cartoon from the 90s. So it's
Yeah,
clearly updated, and you would hope it would be, but
yeah,
it's updated in a way that you don't notice how fluid it actually is,
yeah.
and
And I
that's
like the
really
parallels
strange to say.
for Night of Sentinels, where like Roberto is Jubilee. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And she even touches it, and she goes, "Yeah, they rescued me from a mall, and they became my family." I will say I hate Roberto's character so fucking much. Absolutely abhor him. And then the one thing that I'm confused at is he's Sunspot, right? Not Sunfire.
Yeah, he's Sunspot.
Okay, okay. Because I was like, Sunfire was in the original series and is red and white.
Sunfire is Japanese too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
and
so
Roberto is
Mexican.
Mexican
I'm pretty sure he's Mexican. Yeah.
or Latino or something. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's definitely
Um,
Latino, but I always thought he was Mexican, but he could I could be wrong. So
so
I'm not
his
super familiar
character
with him.
sucks though. Like I mean, he's written that way right now, and maybe but he doesn't feel like Jubilee was your POV into the X-Men.
Yeah.
And like he doesn't feel that way. He just feels like asinine. And there are little changes. Like and the thing that gets me is when you're a creator, like you have the hardest job because you
Hmm.
got to try to please people who remember something. And sometimes they don't remember it for how accurate it is. They remember what their nostalgia brain tells them it
Exactly.
was.
And sometimes they don't. It's not that they don't remember it, or they do remember it, like you said, like the nostalgia brain, and then they don't go back and rewatch it, like we're
Yeah,
doing
and
with the
so
X
like
Men.
they rip it apart. But like Cal Dodd is Wolverine. After the first few lines, I was sucked in, and he's
Hmm.
Wolverine again.
I was like,
Like,
yes, okay, here we go.
yeah, because it was only like that that trailer, that teaser trailer was jarring with his
Yeah,
one line that he said was like, okay, yeah, this isn't Wolverine, but it is. It's the guy 30 years later with his voice changed. You
exactly.
know
And
what I mean?
what I had to realize is that wait, no, it absolutely 100% is. It
But
just
I'll tell
sounded
you,
different in the moment.
Cyclops sounds like night, like
I
100% accurate to what he was in the 90s. No crackle, no difference in his voice, not even a
I
volume change. Like
So
he's so
there is a
perfect.
scene where Cyclops is fighting, and I had never thought about how they illustrate that his eye beam isn't a laser or anything by him using it to push off and slide around.
Yeah,
So good.
dude, they
Like,
use their powers in amazing ways in this series.
yeah, like Cyclops doing that was like I'd always been like, Cyclops sucks. But
Same.
when you're watching, like, man, I get it. Cyclops is pretty freaking cool.
Cyclops is pretty cool. Like if you watch him in the movies and you watch him in the cartoon, you're like, man, he sucks. He's a Boy Scout. He's
Yeah.
annoying. But like the comic books have really created Cyclops into a complex character and one of the biggest in the Marvel universe as far as I'm concerned, because he's had such a massive impact, especially when he took over the Phoenix Force years back. Like
one of my favorite Cyclops lines is it's when they're in Utopia or in San Francisco, and someone's like, "Hey, what's Plan B?" He's like, "There isn't a Plan B. Plan B implies there's only 24 plans." I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, I love that."
Cyclops is so
It's
good.
so
Like he's a
so
tactician,
subtle. Yeah.
but he's also the moral compass of the. It's been like a joy to watch Cyclops delve into Magneto over the years, because that's what he's really become. Before you got him on Krakoa, he's Magneto. He's the progression of Magneto.
Yep.
He started with Xavier's ideals and beliefs and devolved slowly or morphed slowly, and we'll use that as a segue, into Magneto. And like speaking of morph, they did him just right. I thought he was going to be very super stupid annoying, like Freakazoid or something. No, they made him better than the original TV show, to be honest. I don't like his appearance. I know it's for animation and simplicity with the white face because of, what's it called? But I like him as the human face. However, the one thing I wanted to ask you, because you're an X-Men expert, like you are like an X-Men expert. That's funny. That's good alliteration for you.
Yep.
I'm
impressed you came up with that this early in the morning.
Thank you. But like Morph can change into people, but he can't take their power set on, just their appearance, right?
I didn't think so.
Or is he mimic?
No, I don't think he can take the powers. He just changes his appearance.
That's what I thought. But in this show,
it clear like he seemed
trying to become like a Beast Boy, where like
he was able to take on like Colossus armor skin, right? Like I noticed that too, and I wasn't sure is that a deliberate choice or is that just
I don't know. So that begs the question: can he take on Jean's telepathy?
Yeah. See, I think for me, I think it was probably more of an accident.
Okay.
Like it wasn't intended for that to happen, as opposed to, you know what I mean? So,
right.
I was just thinking about Morph and how we haven't got an animated Morph as of yet. What I find amusing is that you have, the first wave of figures clearly gave some spoilers because you have the Executioner. I'm happy, that we have a figure of that.
Yep.
You have the Goblin Queen, Nightcrawler. Yeah. None of whom have showed up in the first episode, right?
No, just the Executioner.
Yeah, exactly. So like none of whom showed up in the first episode. I'm gonna cough and I'm gonna go on mute in a second. So if I stop talking, that's why.
Okay.
So it just takes me back to the whole thing of, well, how much do we really want to give away in toys when it comes to this kind of stuff?
Exactly. I agree too. Yeah.
Like we've had so many things like, oh hey, that must mean that this is coming out. Or maybe it just happens to mean that we wanted a toy of this and we just have it's tough to find that balance.
I think the most egregious thing of a toy ruining a movie or a show is Kenner with the Batman animated series 1993 Mask of the Phantasm. When it came out right before the movie and they packaged the Phantasm with her mask off to the side of her. So you got Andrea Beaumont in a Phantasm mask next to her. And it's like, well, I guess she's the Phantasm.
It's like, come on, Kenner.
It's like, what are you doing? Like, you could have at least, like, maybe done something like for...
like
or
dark
I think
plastic over the top of it.
Yeah, like I think Dick Tracy did the same thing with the Warren Beatty movie with the blank for Madonna. Like they had two heads or something, and it was like clearly Madonna's head, and you're like, okay, well I guess Madonna's the blank.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, that's to me is like if you're a studio, you're bullshit. You're like, what are you doing? But then again,
you've got to be better than that.
You have to approve all this. your marketing team has to
Mhm.
approve all this. So like you can't get too mad. But no, the
I mean,
show is
they
great.
can't get mad, but we can get mad as
Yeah,
fans.
we can get
Yeah, we can
bullshit.
get mad.
Yeah. I mean, but it's like, I mean, the show is just so good. I'm so sad it's only 10 episodes, but I'm glad they spaced it out because I would have binged it all and it would have been done. I would have been
One
done
hundred
personally.
percent. Yeah, 100%. Like I'm looking forward to it being 10 episodes in terms of the fact that we can watch it and it will be, it's like 2 hours, 10 episodes, half an hour an episode. So it's like 5 hours. I can't math. I'm enjoying the fact it's not super long. However, I'm really sad.
They're longer than the regular episodes,
Yeah,
which I
it's a
like
good
a
10
lot.
minutes longer.
And I like that a lot.
Agreed. So I'm excited. I don't know when the next episode's coming out, and in part
Wednesday,
of
I
me,
believe.
and that's what I assumed. And part of me, I don't know if I want to know or if I want to just
Wednesday.
enjoy it. So,
Oh no. 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 Hell
Oh,
no.
so
He knew it. He's like,
it
oh, he's on.
he's
Oh,
on.
it's
He's on.
time to.
He's like, I don't know if people are listening. Like, we've been talking for about 40 minutes at this point, and I don't know if you can tell how tired we were at the beginning and how the
Yeah.
caffeine has started to kick in at this point. It's
Well, you know what it is. We're talking X-Men now, and like
right.
I went from like being head down and like laying down to like I'm up and walking around now because like this show is just oh my god. So I guess I'm wrong. You remember we were like, oh, I bet you they're gonna do a mix of everything over the last 30
Yeah.
years. I think they're gonna stay pretty close to the Claremont era, is
And
what I'm thinking.
they might. I mean, in fairness, we're only 2 episodes
Two
in,
episodes in, but
and
still, yeah.
if this does well, then I expect him to do a lot more. So I wouldn't be shocked if
Just don't do the Brood. Just don't do the Brood.
you may not get it this season, but I think I think the
It's
time.
coming. It might be
Yeah.
like the next season opener or something.
Yeah, or especially if you're going to get Xavier back at some point, like maybe at the end of this season, you see Xavier back, and then he's like, "My X-Men, we need you," because the Brood are back. But I hope, honestly, I hope we get longer with Magneto as a hero.
Me too. I love Magneto. I love this era of Magneto, and I love this costume. I've always been a fan of this costume. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's so stupid with the long glove." I think it's fucking awesome. Like I just like how it's so distinct from his regular appearance. It like signifies, okay, when Magneto's wearing this, he's a good guy. When he's wearing the bucket helmet, he's a bad guy. But I also like
when he doesn't have the helmet on, he's clearly open to people, not open to people reading his mind, but he's not super defensive about it.
Yeah, but I liked how he was like, he explained it away. He said, I've always felt Charles in my mind, not as an invading presence, but as a presence. And now I no longer feel him. So, like, I have a couple theories because the X-Men are acting like he died, like he's dead, like his body is gone. So I'm like, did Xavier like make them think he's gone? Like did he like do something to their minds for like comfort or something when he left with Lilandra?
Oh, that's a good point.
Because they're acting like he's dead. They're not acting like he's off world and they're sad. They're acting like he's dead in the ground, like his body was gone. So I'm wondering if it's like a thing that he just kind of not tricked them, but like to put their mind at ease so they're not worried about him in space.
Yes.
He has them think he's gone.
Yeah.
And then it will be a big
not an
shocker
outright
at the
trick.
end.
It's just not, like you said, he's not coming forward with it.
It'll be a big shocker at the end.
Yeah.
Like, so. And funny enough, obviously they didn't get the same voice actor for Charles Xavier. He's probably gone or something. He might not be alive. But
yeah, true.
They got Ross Marquand, who does a lot of great celebrity impressions and whatever. And he was decent. He was off. Like, this is the one time, like, his walking and his Mark Wahlberg and all that, they're fantastic. But, like, this was off. I was like, all right, it doesn't sound like Xavier, but it was Morph doing Xavier. So it was like, all right.
It could be, yes, exactly. It doesn't need to be perfect when it's not.
Yeah.
Not the
same. And then there's also the one thing about people bitching is they're like, Rogue sounds like an old lady a little bit at times. She's 70.
I'm sorry, I hate to alarm you guys.
Yeah, she's 70, so like she's gonna sound older. And I thought she did a damn good job.
I will agree with that.
Storm is spot on perfect.
Hmm.
Still still the worst tactician in cartoons ever because she announces everything she's going to do before she does it.
But
I am going to hurl the wind and now the
so
lightning. Quick, duck the lightning.
here's the thing. This is what I've always thought is that arguably yes, it's a bad tactic, but is it an intimidation thing where she's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot lightning in your face, and you can't stop me, and I'm so confident you can't stop me. I'm gonna tell you every move I make.
Yeah, but we talked about this with our review of the earlier episodes. Storm is so elemental in the TV show. Like they did such a great job of her
Yeah,
power set, and they did it even more in
I was
these
gonna say it's
episodes.
even better in this one.
Like, everyone's power set's better. Magneto's especially. Oh my god, my
Yep.
favorite scene of the whole series so far is when he just rips out the floor in the summit and or the UN and just
Yep.
brings it up into outer space. Cover it. And that
I Everything about Magneto in this series has me like,
perfect.
I didn't know I needed that that costume he's in
Yep.
until I watched him. Like, yeah, maybe I will get
I
it.
keep seeing it on Amazon. I have to get it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
I'm
it.
like, I'm gonna end up getting that because
I have
it's
like a $40 Amazon gift card still, so I'm like, shit, that's probably where it's going. And then
yeah.
I'm gonna get an aftermarket cape because I've already seen some people on
I see,
Instagram with aftermarket
I was
capes.
thinking about that, but then you know what else I was thinking is that that cape should allow him to do the hovering in midair with his
It
legs
does.
crossed.
It does.
So
So like,
is
yeah,
it I could get an aftermarket, but if I do that, that would be a lot harder for him to do.
yeah. So I'm like, it is, but I just love. Then the figure came out great. The head sculpts are
Yeah,
perfect.
agreed.
Like the
Agreed.
97 figures so far, I think are phenomenal, with the exception of Cyclops. They just something misses the mark with him on the figure, but the VHS Cyclops is stellar. So like
It's
that's the best Cyclops anyone's
the
put
only
out
thing
in
I
the
think that
series.
misses the mark with that Cyclops is his head.
Yeah, that's what I mean. His
It's
head is
there's
off.
something about the head,
Something
but it
weird.
actually fits really well with the cartoon.
It
Like
does.
aesthetically, it fits the cartoon. So
Yeah, but just I don't know if it's the
I'm not saying
shagginess
I
of the hair. I don't know if his face is
no,
too
it's a
thin.
chin. I think it's the
It's the
fact his
chin.
face
I
is too
think
thin.
his chin is too tapered or something.
Yeah, I think when I get it, because I don't have that version
Yeah,
of Cyclops, like I need a non-jacketed version, and
right.
then I can retire the 3-pack one that I have.
Yep.
When I get
I
it,
love the 3-pack one.
I agree. I just don't like the jacket on it.
I just don't like the straps that fall down. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
but those were fixed on the VHS one. Dude, the VHS one is stellar. It's
oh
an absolute almost perfect figure.
yeah. If it wasn't for the cell shading, I probably would have
I
made
still
more of an effort to get it.
I still like it with the cell shading. I don't care.
Yeah,
To
it's
me, it's
funny
subtle. I know.
because I have Mystique and she's got cell shading, and that doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
don't
and
know.
that's another one. That would be great when they bring her into the show.
Yep.
I'm
Oh,
looking forward to
absolutely.
Juggernaut. Oh man, I hope they do Kane Marco again. But
Oh yeah. Now,
Sinister's
are
going to be
you
a presence.
talking about the figures, or are you talking about
The show, the show.
the show? Yeah, because I'm curious to see if they'll do a jug. I don't imagine it ever redo Juggernaut because the 2-pack with Colossus and the Builder figure
Oh
is
yeah,
just
as far as
perfect.
the figure, I don't think they'll do another Juggernaut animated figure, and I don't
No,
think they'll do another Sinister animated figure unless he
no,
takes on like more of his, House of X style.
yeah,
But
unless he changes it up a bit, I don't see them redoing that one.
you are being a bad brat. You are stealing everything. Stop being a brat.
Yeah, but he's cute though. I don't
He's
know which one you're
adorable.
talking about, but I'm sure.
Brady, but
Yeah.
he's get down. God, sorry. Like this is the one thing I don't want people to hear on the show, but he's just like
Eh,
all over the place right now. He woke up like Dennis the Menace, and he's like, "Let's go."
it,
Um,
you should probably go take him for a walk.
I'm gonna take him very soon. We'll
Yeah.
we'll end this pretty quick, but no. So I mean, everyone's done everything in the show, and I think
Hmm.
we've avoided spoilers pretty well. But I
Yeah,
like
I think
the
so.
way Morph and Wolverine are buddy still. Like, they
Yes.
built upon everything. Jean and Cyclops, I thought, was such a great dynamic. I love, it was jarring when you see her pregnant right out the gate. Because you don't
Yeah.
see it in the trailers, but you see this big ass belly walking around the X Mansion, and you're like, whoa. But here's my thing. This is what I want, and this is the spoiler. I'm confused as hell because is that Jean or is that Maddie? And Jean came back.
Don't ask the question. Well, if you go, I'll answer it this way. If you go by the comic books,
Yep.
Jean Grey is not Cable's mother.
I knew that.
So
But like,
assuming they're following the books that faithfully,
okay,
what you're likely seeing is Madeline Pryor, who either thinks she's Jean Grey,
right?
or knows that she's not.
Okay, because yeah, I mean, because Madeline Pryor is from Sinister, correct?
I think so.
Yes, it's been a long time. Well, all I remember is Madeline Pryor.
But I always thought Madeline Pryor didn't have direct powers like telekinesis and stuff. So I don't know how that.
She has powers.
She has powers, but I think at the time when Cyclops met her, she wasn't powered up. Like, she was just a quote regular person who flew helicopters and stuff.
She might be, yeah.
So I
haven't seen it in a long time. I haven't read it in a long time, but like, my guess is, see, and it also doesn't give you a time frame for how long Xavier's been gone, which would make sense.
I feel like
it's
months. It's got to be months, because like, especially if Jean is close to the 9 months, right? Like, maybe even if she went a little bit early, but she's still.
Yeah, well, she gives birth in the show, so like.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it's got to be at least 9 months. So Xavier may have been gone 6 months. Maybe that's when Jean found out that she was pregnant, right? Because you don't always show immediately. Although I feel like she would know, she would sense the.
It's going to be interesting. So that obviously that will be episode 3, and like, figuring out like what's going on with Jean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't tell. I was like, oh, is that Maddie or is Maddie with Scott? Like, what the hell?
Exactly.
So I mean, it's going to be interesting because, again, we're more a complex audience than we were years ago. So it's kids, it would have went over their head back then. Like, I remember watching, still while we were rewatching some of these X-Men shows, like, dude, some of the subject matter, I'm like, I can't believe they tackled this on Saturday morning in 22 minutes. Like, I give them so much credit for doing it in a tasteful manner, too.
I was saying, not even tackling it, but tackling it well in 22 minutes.
Yes,
the way it was done was so, it was like, you forget how good it actually was handled.
Other than season 5, which is the final season of X-Men the animated series from the original, all 4 seasons I thought were phenomenal. Season 5 with Jubilee's like fairy tale episode and a couple of those one-offs was just like so. And then they bring it back at the end. I do love Weapon X Lies and Videotape, though. That's probably my favorite from season 5.
It's funny, I don't remember season 5, and it's probably not necessarily a bad thing if I'm going back to rewatch it, but yeah,
you'll notice the quality difference.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, I think anything when it goes downhill like that, you will.
Yeah, at the end of season 4 was kind of like the big blow off. Like, it was Beyond Good and Evil, I think it was the 4-parter with Apocalypse. Like, that was like their final threat, like their major boss. And then the rest of season 5 is just kind of like downtime and like, kind of small threats and whatever. Yeah, and then of course what happens to Xavier at the end.
Yeah.
Because they had no plans on obviously bringing this back again. Like, they were done. The network probably was like, okay,
no, this will be your last season. Oh, hey,
this is your last season.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we're gonna renew you, and you're like, shit.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. Like, they wrote Xavier off in a way that, okay, it's acceptable because he left off world with Lilandra. But I want to see how they weave it into the show because, like I said, the X-Men are acting like they don't know he's gone with Lalandra. Like, he's gone. Like, his body's gone. Like, and they keep saying he got shot, and I'm like, don't remember that at all. I'm like,
I'm with you. Now that you say it, I wonder if he made them forget.
yeah. So that
Because
might be the
that
thing.
could also be another story coming up, right? Xavier using his like how easy it is for him to abuse his power.
Onslaught. Oh my God! Please, please give us Onslaught. I would love to see Onslaught. Oh my God!
I would love to see an animated Onslaught figure as well.
That's well, yeah, but that's my dream
I think I
arc
think at this
that they
point,
can do.
given that we are clearly getting enthusiastic for X-Men and I mean I say it toys again, but it's more like we're rediscovering a love that ultimately we thought we were completed with our collections, but oh well, maybe I will get this, maybe we'll get that.
I had a buddy ask me. He's a huge X-Men fan, and he's a diehard Masters of the Universe and GI Joe. My buddy Derek, like my oldest
Yeah.
friend. I had him ask me, "Have you seen X-Men 97 yet?" I'm like, "Dude, I watched it day one, but I
Mhm.
didn't watch it like the moment it came out. I watched it later that night." And he's like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Is it good?" I'm like, the best way I can put it, I'm like, I don't want you to think I'm overselling it because I absolutely adore the show so far. But the best way I can put it is you will have the same feeling you did when you watched Revelation for the first time. It brings everything you love from that genre and that property, but amps it up and is still faithful to what you remember. Just
Yes.
makes it so much better by fleshing it out. You're
Mhm.
gonna love it. And I'm waiting to see what he says. But everyone so far that I've talked to loves this show.
I
There's only the
haven't seen
people online that are just fucking idiots.
I haven't seen anyone say bad things about the show. I'm sure they're out there,
There are.
but I haven't seen anyone have any valid criticisms. But I haven't seen any criticism whatsoever, valid or not, honestly.
Honestly, the only negative I have about the show is just one. And maybe you'll agree with me. Just one. It's the
Mhm.
only downside to the show. The theme song.
Doesn't sound quite right, does it?
Don't like it. It sounds weird. They could have kept it exactly the same, or they could have made it harder, like way more bass and like really amped it up. It sounds like uh electronica version of it, but you're playing it at like a coffee lounge where you don't want to make it so loud that it's bothering people. It just it's like like instead of it's just like
Mm.
it's like you're playing the
I
theme
was
in a
listening to it and I
library.
was like, this doesn't sound quite right.
It just doesn't sound heavy. It sounds like they're like, we are the X-Men. Shh. Like, we gotta
Yeah,
keep the noise down. It's
I'm
weird.
wondering if there's a deliberate choice for that, if there's a message about that, if that's to do with what's in the show, I'm reading too much into it, or it was just hey, we're gonna do this for the theme tune this time, but maybe we'll change it. Like I don't know. I'll be curious to see what
I honestly think it's
how
just
it
hey,
progresses.
we could easily just throw out the same theme tune, but we want to justify people recording something new. So
Yeah,
let's record a slightly worse, different version of this and put
yeah,
it out. Because they reanimated the credits for the
yeah. They
most
did.
part,
No,
very
they did.
similar,
I think everything about the credits is redone.
except for
E-
some of
e-
the scenes, like Magneto's in credits too in his Asteroid M costume.
but I think even that was redone. It was just they didn't. I don't think they reused anything. They just may have redone it in a new tech.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One more thing, and
But
this will be
yeah,
what we ended on. Okay. Was Archangel in the show, or was that Morph turning into Archangel to land?
I'm gonna assume it was Morph turning into
Okay,
Archangel.
because yeah, he never spoke, and we never saw Warren again. It was like
No,
two scenes on the Blackbird, and all of a
it,
sudden, I
but
was
I
like,
mean, you
Archangel.
saw, yeah, like I think it must be him turning into people because you saw him turning into Deathstrike and Colossus. So
Yeah,
I think it's just he's doing his Morph stuff. I don't know.
they made him more like Mimic in the show, which is fine because that's what he's
Yep,
supposed to be. Also, I will say so far, Wolverine has not cried out people's names incessantly, so it's
not
nice.
yet, not yet. There's still
No
8 episodes
more.
left.
Gene. Like, none of that.
Before we get into a Wolverine crying montage that we decide to sit here for the next 10 minutes doing names, I'll start the music.
Yep.
It's always awkward when I say that because we both don't hear it until I actually put it in at the end. So let's assume the music's playing. Folks, you probably know where to find us. We may actually respond someday.
We'll be watching X-Men.
Yeah. So I don't know what we're talking about next week. We have a plan, and I can't remember what it is. So
we're talking WrestleMania next week. We're gonna have Matthew.
Yes, next week is WrestleMania with Matthew. I think WrestleMania weekend we're actually not talking WrestleMania.
What?
I think because we're doing the
we're doing predictions.
We're doing predictions, so it comes out the week before WrestleMania. Like we actually had a plan so that it comes out in advance. Then we're doing I think Matthew's coming back the week after Mania.
That's right.
To talk about it. So I think Mania weekend
for Mania.
Yeah, like Mania weekend we're actually not talking about it. So maybe we can do a
part 2 of the X-Men.
Part 2 of the X-Men animated series.
I've already finished it. I'm on I'm on episode 4 of season 3.
Yeah, so like we can definitely stop at a certain point, and I'll obviously catch up, and we'll do that. But that is not today's problem, and by the time that weekend comes, we don't hold us to what I just said.
Yep.
Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.